Okay, so on to the next track / performance in Sonia's music marathon. I almost forgot that over there. For those of you who are only joining us now, I suggest you go back to the very beginning of the series. It is a bit of an extended series, but we will be wrapping it up soon enough. But it's awesome. The variety of music's been absolutely sensational, man. For those of you who also want to watch additional content, you can go to the Fable sphere, leaving the links down in the description and the pinned comment. I always forget to actually pin the damn comment, but it is also in the description if you want to go and take a look there. I will be adding new content to the sphere today and tomorrow as well, just to catch up from a couple of days. We haven't put there for like 2 or 3 days. So yeah, this over here is White Lion, When the Children Cry, another brand new band to the channel. I've never heard of this band, never heard of this song. The message from Sonia over here is White Lion was a glam metal band from the 80s and the early 90s. The band was formed in New York City in 1983, 2 years before I was born. Danish-born vocalist Mike Tramp, born Michael Trempenau, and guitarist Vito Bratta, who wrote most of the band's songs. Okay, so we going into new territory over here, which is amazing. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we've got. Let's go.
Little child, dry your crying eyes. How can I explain the fear you feel inside? 'Cause you were born into this evil world where man is killing man and no one knows just why.
Beautiful, right off the bat. The guitar is absolutely beautiful over here. I can already see I'm gonna love the lyrics over here. 100% with regards to, he speaks to a child that's born into a world of just it's evil, it's killing. When has the world not been evil? That's the question I always ask at the end of the day. If you actually look, there's far less evil in the world today than there was 100 years ago. Do you know what I mean? There's far less suffering today than there was 100 years. That's a fact. It's an irrefutable fact, right? That there's far less suffering, right? And this idea that you hear that often, like you hear that often from people. It's like, wow, I don't want to bring children into this world. Well, when was the world better? When exactly do you want to bring children into this world? Right? When was the world better? Let me tell you one thing. The greatest thing you will ever produce in your entire life will be your children. That'll be the greatest thing. That will be the greatest thing you'll ever produce in your entire life is your children, right? It'll be the actual, the legacy that can carry on through you, the bringing life to the world, right? The only way you're going to change the world is to actually bring more life into the world. Right? We've gone through terrible things, man. We've gone through World War I and World War II. We've gone through fucking revolutions. We've gone through famines. We've gone through ridiculous amounts of strife back. I mean, the days of empires, the days of conquering and things like that. There was nothing but suffering. Absolutely nothing but suffering, right? Just 100 years ago, or even, let's say about 150 years ago, where did I read this? That there were people dying at the rate of 1,000 people an hour. Now, it's not to say that we don't have strife and we don't have conflicts today and things like that, but there are not people dying at the rate of 1,000 people an hour. There isn't that. Do you know what I mean? We've actually progressed to the point, yes, we're in a very tumultuous time now, but we might very well find ourselves back in it, right? Because of the fact that we completely took for granted our privilege, right? And we played into this silliness of the modern age of rights this, rights that, rights that. I kind of feel we got so many rights to the point that we've actually all gone insane. Do you know what I mean? But children are important. Children will be the greatest thing you ever produce on this planet. There is no two ways about it. There's absolutely no two ways about it. And it's sad some people can't have children, but the idea that to say that I don't want children, firstly, because children are arseholes, or children are this, or children are that, or whatever else, it's such a narcissistic viewpoint. And then also another narcissistic viewpoint is well, I don't want to bring children into this world because look at this world. Well, look at this world. The world's been far worse than this world. Do you know what I mean? Far worse. Far worse. It's just such a cop-out. You know what I mean? It's such a cop-out. Personally, that's how I feel about it. Some people won't agree with it. But like I say, there will be nothing that you'll produce that is left behind. When you're on your deathbed, right? You're not going to be sitting there and saying, well, thank God I produced 40,000 spreadsheets during my career. It doesn't even matter, even if you invent. Thank God I produced the iPhone. Great. You did humanity a great thing. But the greatest thing that Steve Jobs ever produced was his daughter. Not his iPhone. His daughter was the greatest thing he ever produced. It'll always be that way, right? It's always something of absolute value to actually produce the next generation that can live on. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's at least my point of view, whether you agree with it or not.
What have we become? Just look what we have done. All that we destroyed, you must build again. When the children cry, let them know we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then the new world begins. Little child.
I like that, when the children cry and when the children sing is when the new world begins, right? Because of just that beautiful innocence, right? There's a vulnerability over there that will catch even the hardest of hearts. But the problem is that the hardest of hearts today have all been kind of like psyoped to a certain degree, in the sense of like their compassion is being seen as their compassion is being seen as good, but their compassion isn't. It's actually very malevolent and it's very evil, right? When it comes to children, right? And it comes from a very narcissistic place. It's all about it's all about our own personal gain and scoring points on each other and following ideologies, as opposed to actually protecting children, right? The protection of children today is not so much the actual protection of children, more than it is the perception of goodness. Whereas it's not goodness itself, it's actually the perception of goodness, right? No one really cares too much about the outcome, it's the intent. Oh no, well, I intend to be nice, right? Regardless that every fucking outcome is a disaster, doesn't matter, right? But your intentions are good. But the fact that your intentions are nihilistic and narcissistic and don't actually benefit the next generation, that doesn't matter. As long as we can use these kids as props to show our intentions, our good intentions. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem, is that a lot of the evil is being veiled by goodness today. Do you know what I mean? At least before, you used to just know what evil was. Do you know what I mean? At least before, when you saw guys in SS uniforms walking down the street, you knew those were the guys that we needed to get rid of. Those were the evil people. Do you know what I mean? But today, it's not like that. Today, it comes in the form of compassion. Today, fascism is... Let me not get into it. Let me not get into it, because I can be here all day. Anyway, let's carry on.
You must show the way to a better day for all the young. 'Cause you were born for the world to see that we all can live with love and peace. No more precedents. One united world.
It's a nice notion that to actually think of no more presidents and the wars will end, but that's not true. People need to be led. People want to be led. And I mean, who knew politics is dirty? Yes, politics is dirty. It's always been dirty, right? But people need to be led. People need to be governed, right? They need to be governed. There needs to be some sort of structure in place that's being governed. But with power comes corruption, right? And you get absolute corruption at times. And the problem is that people need to hold their governments accountable. But if they acquiesce to government talking points, and if they sit there and they think that the government's the arbiter of truth, then you've given away too much power. Do you know what I mean? But we do need, unfortunately, sadly, you do need presidents, because how do you govern yourselves? How do people govern themselves? The hierarchy of civilization is, right, okay, so you got step one is, let's say, step one is the hunter-gatherer, right? I'll hunt, you gather. Game over. Step two is maybe we can do this in tribes, right? To make it more efficient, right? So we as a team, as a unit, right, will hunt, right? And the other people that are part of the tribe will collectively gather for us for the tribe, right? It provides us a sense of security. It provides us with an effective way to produce and to make it safer for ourselves. When hunting, we got each other's back. When gathering, we can actually be far more efficient, right? And then you step from there and you move into something like a state, where it's like, okay, in order to ensure our security, we can now actually have an army, a dedicated army that can now protect us, right? That can now protect what we do, and we can branch out into many different things as a society. We can create an army that protects us. We can create a medical industry, a medical faculty that will look after our children, a research faculty, and whatever else. And then it makes things far more efficient, and then it actually allows people to sort of have a bit more of a sense of freedom, right? Because then you can start dedicating roles to certain people in society, and then we can pool our money, and portions of that will go into the society at large to fund the governments and this and this and this and this and that. Right. Why do I say that? I say that because people need to be governed. People need a structure. That's what needs to happen. So yes, the idea of doing all the presidents is great, but it's not going to solve anything, right? It actually creates more chaos, because at the lower end of humanity sort of structuring itself, at the hunter-gatherer end and at the tribal end, it literally becomes a free-for-all. Whereas at the higher end of that, where you actually have a state and things are like whatever, and you've got laws and constitutions and all that kind of thing, right? There's actually a greater order for the majority of people, because people need to fall in line with a system, as opposed to just running roughshod around. So the tribes fighting tribes for land or whatever else, right? It's better to actually have it at the higher end, where you've actually got treaties and when you've got laws and constitutions and things like that. And that's basically how we've progressed. Is it dirty? Yes, it is. Politics is dirty. It always has been. Do you know what I mean? But it's far more effective and a lot less chaotic. Let's put it that way.
One united world under God. When the children cry, let them know we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then the new world begins. Just look what we have done.
Beautiful
All
song.
that we destroyed, you must build again. No more presidents,
It won't, but okay, I've spoken about that.
Under God, when the children.
It's funny that they speak of God, but there are people, instead, society is leaning more to a secular culture than to a sort of like defined religious culture. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how, like I said before, that, you know, we used to speak about this a lot. We used to speak about God a lot, right? And it used to add so much purpose to children, regardless of your views. It doesn't make a difference, like regardless of your views. But having religion in schools and having the Bible in the schools is actually something that was unbelievably important for children. We're trying to even take that away, right? So it's not about the protection of children. It's just children need to be whatever they want to be, and they need to float into the abyss and give into their temptations, and they can express themselves in any which way. Don't suppress their feelings. They need to everything is very feeling based, right? They're not being taught that feelings are throwaway, right? The majority of your feelings are throwaway feelings, right? You feel it this day, you deal with something and you throw that away. It's not like that. It's like everything. You are the sum total of your feelings, right? That destroys children. That absolutely and utterly destroys children, right? Because children need to learn how to control their emotions, or else they can get flooded with emotions, right? They can be this day, that day, that day. When they're angry, they can just go and take a brick and just hit the other kid in the head with a brick because they're angry. They're just expressing themselves. No, they need to learn how to channel those emotions, and it's up to the adults to do that. But we don't do that today. Today, we're saying, let's take away any sort of guardrails from children. Let them float into the abyss, right? And literally destroy themselves. And that is being compassionate. This is what I tell you. This veil of compassion, this idea that you're being compassionate by allowing children to do whatever they want. When has a child ever taken a decision that benefits itself in the long run? When? When has that ever happened? Or teenager. Teenager and children, they're immature, they're stupid, they do dumb things. That's why when you get to your 30s and your prefrontal cortex actually develops, you look back into your 20s and you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Oh my God, I'm such an idiot, right? That realization that you were immature and you were stupid, and a lot of the decisions you were making actually didn't benefit you in any which way because they're impulsive. You know what I mean? But we're saying no, 15-year-old knows how to run the world, right? So let them run the world. It's not working.
When the children cry, let them know we tried. It's when the children fight, let them know it ain't right. When the children break, let them know the way. 'Cause when the children sin, let them know begin.
Beautiful song. Probably my favorite song of the day. This is definitely one of my favorite songs of today. Or the series, actually. Probably one of my favorite songs of today and the series. Beautiful, beautiful song over here. Really beautiful. And yes, I'm all for protecting children, but actually protecting children, not pretending to protect children. We need to actually protect them. And sometimes it means protecting them. Actually, most times it means protecting them from themselves because they don't know better. Well, we're getting to a stage where even parents don't know better because they're juvenile in themselves. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.